We are here. Hello there.
Hello, ho.
This is what we're going to talk about today. It's Heroes, as well as other projects. So, my name is Jarek.
My name's Simon.
I'm the Archon CEO. And welcome, and Shimon, you are whom?
Well, I just handle community stuff and a couple of other stuff as well on the side.
Exactly, doing many things like everybody else in this company. So we are wearing many hats. So we do many things in this company. So most of the people have several different jobs to do. Anyway, so welcome to our Ask Me Anything. As always, we're gonna be talking about our projects, current projects, future projects, upcoming projects, and anything else. You may ask the questions, then we're gonna go through. Just quickly, what else we're gonna be talking today? It's the Heroes unboxing of the expansions. So I got Stronghold here, I do have Cove, and I do have also Conflux. So that's what we're gonna happen just in a few minutes. So let's quickly jump into slides.
Yeah, into the slideshow.
Cool. It's a polite reminder. Okay, let's see what is there. General cannot be. Hello there. Hello everybody. I just received my Legacy Heroes 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say I'm freaking impressed with all the quality stuff inside. Really amazing. Organizers, minis, prints, everything.
Thank you. We are keeping our premises. We are shipping it, by the way. So I think it's well roundabout finish on. They told me today that remaining parcels, only few left, something like that, should be shipped out anyway by the end of the day. That's including the UK one, because UK one with the problem.
I heard something else.
What you said?
I mean, I heard that we are looking more towards the end of. Oh, sorry, the beginning of next week.
So you're near because beginning of next week to finish it off.
For everything, because I believe right now we're in the realm of like 10 to 20% left in terms of packages, I believe.
Okay, so sorry, it won't be end of the month. It's gonna be next week, end of the next week. So much quicker.
Wait, did you say?
I said end of the month.
End of the month.
Yes, and you say quicker.
Okay,
because next week is just around about the same time. So
okay, we'll have to look into that then, because I see we were receiving different information.
Yeah, Monica from manufacturing told me. So our manufacturing manager told me exactly what being packed. Same goes for Caves. So Caves gonna be start shipping at the end of the May. So towards the end of May.
Pre-painted?
Pre-painted ones, yes, pre-painted ones. So we should have everything which is unpainted shipped by then, and then pre-painted will be shipping by the end of May.
I just need to, as a general reminder, we also have like the last couple remaining Motu Battleground pledges to send, also in the realm of
3 that she told me, and then another five which is coming because they already paid back the stretch pay. Okay. Yeah, so I've got that information just today from 4 o'clock in the morning. So around about in the morning, just around about an hour ago, I got that information coming from. By the way, sorry for the date and time in terms of Ask Me Anything. I know usually we do Thursday, and we do Thursday late.
Thursday night in the EU, but yeah.
But I'm flying tomorrow for trade shows. I'm trying to bring more businesses to the business and more IPs to the business. So I need to be there urgently to have a discussion with licensors. So I'm gonna be away. For almost 10 days. So I needed to make this AMA before that. Otherwise, it would just delay for another 2 weeks, which is not good. We got another person who received the Legacy pack. Are we going to get any news about? We can talk about that one. So maybe not news. But yeah, we're open to talk. If you have some questions, just keep them coming, and we're going to be happy to answer them. Have you been considering making StarCraft Epic 80mm large armies?
We've definitely considered it. If we're going to be doing it, well, that's a question for the future.
That's a different story, yes. That is a completely different story. We did consider. Cool. Let me just go to just a quick reminder. Can you just space bar for me this?
Yeah.
These are the our projects, the projects we have in the pipeline, the projects we work on. Some of them upcoming very, very quickly. Some of them being moved to 2026 or early 2026 because we have we kind of overload, but we're trying to do as much as possible, as many projects as possible this year. But in general, I think this year it's still what's to come is the Heroes, the card game, which we just announced. StarCraft, yes, StarCraft will be pre-ordering towards the I think last quarter of this year. World of Tanks is around about September, October release. So these projects are going to be out. I wish, and I think it's going to happen, the Masters of Orion at Astra should be installed as well by Christmas. Because we plan to shipping before that anyway, so it should be by Christmas there. Port Heaven, I think, is very advanced. I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to ship it this year. I wish to. It's down to many things, and one of them is basically accounting. We have a very, very long story to explain to you why we couldn't ship something in December. We needed to push to January, but it is what it is. Caves, obviously, with we just mentioned about shipping, so just expect to pre-painted pledges to be shipped by end of the start shipping by the end of the May. That's that. Heroes is actually doing quite well. So we finish in the what's the name, the legacy shipping. We've got those boxes. We're gonna go through the opening those boxes just in a minute.
We've got the new expansion boxes with us
exactly
here physically.
Exactly. We do have a paper content is done. The miniatures are resin miniatures. There's only sample miniatures because they need to go through much deeper approval process than anything printed. So they create the samples for us. We use those samples to photo, send them to the licensor, and the licensors basically give us approval or ask to do some changes to it. In this case, there was no changes to it. What else there? I am happy to talk about StarCraft if you have some questions. I might show you something today, some miniatures. We'll see. We receive a lot. For StarCraft, we have received a lot of approvals on miniatures models. So the team is actually working on very nice renders to show you how the miniatures look and all those things, and create more materials for you guys, because at the moment we haven't been showing much. But we are testing intensively the game. Internally still. I don't know, the blind test might happen sometime next month, I would say. I think we're in the level when we could potentially take the game to the blind testing outside, which means we will start doing some blind tests in Poland. And then we talked today about StarCraft when we're going to be showing more. I think Essen is going to be a big one. So what we want to have for Essen is the dedicated booth, a dedicated section of our booth just for StarCraft, where you're going to be able to not only maybe even buy some minis, but definitely play the game, play test the game, or at least see demo game. I'm not sure about Gen Con. I know you fly to Gen Con, right?
Yes, I am flying to Gen Con.
Yeah, but I think we left Gen Con for Dungeons and Dragons, right? Mainly, because that's what we're going to be announcing, yeah?
Are we?
Are we? Are we? It's not on our agenda. It's not there, so maybe it's not. We have different plans for Gen Con. We might have some...
We're going to have our own stand for Gen Con as well?
Yes. We're trying to actually get a bigger stand now. Mm-hmm. We don't know whether it's going to happen, but with the tariffs, with situation with tariffs, it might happen. There's so many companies which cancel to the Gen Con only because they kind of won't be able to get the stock on there. So yeah, that's that. Definitely see our booth at Gen Con. We also, the team will be on our booth and on other company booth. Yeah. Okay, so that's the thingies. Let's go through some questions from Discord.
Yeah, from the Discord. So question, yesterday you showed a little sneak peek of World of Tanks. I hope you understand that the game was saved by the most known Swedish power metal band, Sabaton, of course. The game gained so much players after they were involved and made their own, they made their own Sabaton tank in the game. As an entrepreneur myself, I suggest you talk to Per Sundström, to create a special Sabaton pack you and them can sell. I bet my soul you will sell 3,000 extra copies to metal fans around the world.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, keep them coming. Keep this kind of questions and ideas coming because, yeah, why not? We will pass this one to our marketing team, and marketing is gonna work on that one.
We'll definitely look into it.
Yeah. Spacebar.
With the next DNL campaign being terrain focused, is there a plan to have corresponding minis as add-ons and or stretch goals that would be for a later campaign? Or would that be for a later campaign? So they're asking if there's going to be minis in the add-ons or the stretch goals.
No, that's your question.
I would definitely personally see them at least a couple minis in the stretch goals, possibly as add-ons, but we're still very far away from deciding that.
Right. So just briefly, should we slightly change the strategy and propose multi-possible miniatures?
We're going to have to do a lot of work on designing and process and just figuring out the process for multi-part minis, because I don't think we're really there yet. At least in comparison to maybe some other companies.
Okay, so that's the challenge, right? I love giving challenges, really. I love giving challenges. You know me very well.
Yeah.
So if this is the challenge, we cannot do it. We have to do it. As simple as that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but in terms of stretch goals, I could definitely see, like individual, definitely bigger miniatures, because they are very attractive. There's like a very big pull towards these kinds of campaigns.
Right.
For caves, the Balor was definitely quite the centerpiece.
This.
Yeah.
It's a not centerpiece. It's a masterpiece. This model is a masterpiece. This is the I don't know how to praise this model even more, but guys, come on. I need to show them, really. For those of you who are watching us for the first time, I show you what we can do. Jesus Christ, no way. Is this camera gone? Oh no. Okay, it's back, should work now. Yes, sorry for that. I just want to quickly show you this. Look at that. I mean, there was a thing some time ago when we said, we're far away from Games Workshop in terms of designing models and making models and doing something great with the models and something different. GW is not using any type of this technology, so they don't use any clear plastic whatsoever. We do, and this is basically, this works with normal glue. You don't have to use any super glue, but the quality of this model, sculpting and CNCing, engineering, and getting in the process of manufacturing, really, it's just like, yeah. And that was one of the challenges. They told me, no, Jarek, is too difficult to do it. And if somebody told me, oh, Jarek, is too difficult to do it, that's going to be the first task he's going to do. So there's no things to do the difficult, see? They learn a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Our team is capable of learning a lot. I'd say that, they're capable of...
How we say that in Poland? Throwing people into deep water. If you don't know how to swim, you have to throw them into deep water, then they would learn how to swim very quickly. This is kind of saying in Poland. So
yeah, same saying in...
Really? In English?
Yeah,
More or less? How does it sound in English then?
Well... Same.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we have half-height walls for DNL? This is kind of a difficult question. I'm not gonna lie, because I think a big advantage of 3D terrain is the fact that you can make structures that have elevation, and half-height generally doesn't allow that for as much. I could definitely see half-height walls for like one-story buildings, where it definitely fits. But for larger 3D terrain set pieces, I just don't think it just works as well.
Okay. Now, following question is...
Can we have full height walls? Yeah, I would definitely see us making more full height walls.
I mean, just going back to the half height walls, they're good. As an internal.
They're usable, yeah, definitely.
Usable. I remember when I was assembling terrain, I used them only for internal walls because it's much easier to see. But everything which is the wall which goes outside, like the perimeter, whatever, I use the high walls, and then looks perfectly.
A big advantage half-height walls have is that you can see the miniatures inside. Yeah, but.
This is what somebody told me. I mean, when you play RPG, you play on a chair. You sit.
Yeah.
When you play any kind of wargaming, you tend to actually stand because you still have to reach the models, which are quite frequently, constantly,
you
and roll your
models a lot
dice.
more.
Yeah. So it's not that bad in those games. I like that.
Can we have doors?
Finally.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. We do need more doors. So there is that functional door set that a lot of people keep asking for, but we won't be releasing it to retail because there's numerous issues with the design. But we definitely do have plans to release more door sets in the future, I think.
Yeah. I'm building the Balor at the moment, and it's fantastic. It is not easy build, by the way. It is difficult build, but it goes together very, very nicely. So,
regarding StarCraft, I meant to ask, what were your considerations in choosing 28mm with small armies over epic scale, if you are willing to share them? So the game will be in 32mm, but I'll let you respond to that one.
Do you want to answer this question as well?
Oh, well... Well, for me personally, I'd prefer a smaller scale as well. But I guess the answer is that we want to be more in line with our competitors, I guess, in this genre, and that also comes with doing the same scale. And regarding smaller scales as well, I've been told that there are some issues with how people tend to see smaller scales. So they tend to see it as more expensive, even when it's not. And they also see it as more difficult to paint, even though it can sometimes be easier to paint smaller, more numerous minis than very detailed 32mm ones.
But I think about the... So 20 small armies over the epic scale. So the small armies question, right? This is the big one because we were just like discussing this one. We still haven't, during the process of development, you have to understand where your product is going to be on the market. And usually I don't try to explain my team decisions I make and ask them to actually do some things. But sometimes I have to sit down with them and go like, babysitting and try to go and figure it out what exactly we have to do and why, what's the reasons. If we're gonna go with massive army scale, this is like proper wargaming, we're going into territory of Games Workshop, like purely into territory of the Games Workshop. Do we want to go and battle with such a behemoth like Games Workshop? I don't think so. We have to be... You see, I'm coming from the automotive industry, right? So in our car line, we have different type of car lines, right? We have a sedan, we have a SUVs, and so on, so on. And when we sit down and have discussion about it, which type of car we would like to design, we look at the competition and say, okay, they're selling tons of vehicles of SUV. So this means we're not going to make a SUV. Simple as that. Why? Because they're already selling tons of it. And we want to go into territory when actually being dominated by the company. So we have to find other vehicle, other model, other type of vehicle, which is going to be selling well. So this is what they're not selling. So we're going to go there. So we kind of look at what exactly is on the market, where we should be. Scale of the models definitely needs to be in pair with GW, so with 40mm models or 32mm models. But in terms of gameplay and how the game feels on the table, how it plays, cannot be such a massive game as is 40k. So nothing like big table. That doesn't mean the game is not scalable. It means that the default gameplay is somewhere. Default gameplay it's not Warhammer 40,000. Default gameplay is smaller than the Warhammer 40,000. Yeah, did that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like this example about this is exactly the same example. How they explained to me this example a long time ago. You're basically on the same picture. You've probably seen it online many times. When they did during the Second World War, when they did analysis of the planes which they came back.
You mean survivorship bias?
Exactly the same principle. Yeah, people just tend to go, oh, this is selling very well, we have to do it exactly the same thing. No, it doesn't work like that. If you do exactly the same thing, you will fail. You will invest a lot of money because the market is so inbound in that company, then it's going to be difficult to actually get the customers out of them. Yeah? If you're not going to offer something different, because the difference between that one is the wargamers or the board gamers, they will buy many games. Like I was the wargamer, I had 7 systems. I was playing 7 different systems. But if somebody give me 40k and then different 40k, which is feels and play and looks the same, I'll be considering this one whether I want to switch to other system. Yeah. Okay.
Some board gamers have, hundreds of games even in their collection.
True. Board games, yeah, that's true. But how many of these board games do you actually play? They're more like collectors, right?
So it depends. Yeah. Sometimes you just play it once or twice. But for war games, it is definitely more of an investment.
It is huge.
You can't get into multiple mass battle war games.
Yeah. But we have people here that play actually war games, and like Sławek, he plays many systems, right? Not one, but several different systems. But he's not like a hardcore boulder with one system. Okay, let's move on with more questions.
Mm-hmm. Can we have a bring your fans to work day? So is that offer still up that you
the offer is
for a tour?
So guys, if you're around it and if you wanna spend some time in a spend some time in a small town of Piła, and if you're on a business trip somewhere in Poland or whatever, and you just wanna pass by and say hello and see what's going on, just let us know. At least let us know in a week advance that you're gonna be close to Piła, and can I just have a coffee?
So we can hide all the confidential stuff.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's the big one. We have to hide many things nowadays. This will become very, very difficult. Not now, but definitely within the next few months. By the way, however, there's something which we're gonna be doing in September. I believe the September is a grand opening. We haven't announced that one, but we will probably do like ground up opening. This means the new building which is being built now, it's gonna be reopened, and then some equipment will be moved there. And it's gonna be much more place here. So we would like to invite. There's a lot of people gonna be here from the industry, like from other companies and such. But if I'll announce the date on one of the streams, and definitely with 2 months in advance. And if somebody wants to pop in, just send us an email that you would like to join us, and then it's going to be a full tour just to show you exactly how the factory looks, what we do, how we do. We need some time to hide those big things we do for other companies. But there's a plan. Jesus Christ.
Any progress on the fabric sales?
Dave did something today, right? Dave was doing something today.
I don't know if he was. I don't really have oversight over him.
Yeah. Dave was working on this today. He had some proposal about some additional clip which allow the sales to be more in the shape of sails, right? Because at the moment it's just basically cloth, and when you put that cloth on, it basically folds, and we don't like it. So there is some work done, but nothing we can show you today yet. Once we have like final working fully nicely solution, then yes.
More news/info about Starcide, Invoker, and StarCraft. So, do you want to take this?
Any more news about StarCraft, Promethean, Crusade? So Starcide, we actually rules are very, very advanced now. I would say like core rules and first faction rules. So I asked the guys to start doing starting from the next week, the the blind tests. So first blind test will happen with people from Poznań, from one of the in one place. So we're going to be inviting them, and they're going to be playing the game, and they're going to give us some feedback on the blind test. When this one is okay in that stage, once we have this first initial feedback, we will work on polishing the rules, and then keep moving ahead. At the moment, I think I do have some slides. I do have some slides today for Starcide to show you where we are with designing process for the third faction. So Invoker at this stage is the biggest project in my opinion for this company. Obviously not as big like StarCraft, but StarCraft is taking its place at the moment. Obviously, it's an IP project. We have commitments. We have a contract commitment, so we have to push this one. We need to be out by last quarter of this year, and then on the market next year in the first quarter, regardless of what. So, with the capacity we have now, with the number of designers we have now, we have to prioritize things. And the StarCraft actually being prioritized on over Invoker. Yeah. So Invoker needs to be done next year, and so we push the Invoker for next year.
Is there a chance we can get Caves Clear Bits Ice Train as a lava version, either for retail or Porthaven Pleasure Manager? Some elements would work great as clear lava, like the pools, the waterfall, and relay. A blood red version would also be amazing too. Speaking of lava, will the old DNL3 lava caverns room ever make its retail?
Ooh. Okay. So should we just mention about the survey? Won't be that easier?
Yeah. Again, if you have feedback, you want to see some stuff, potentially in the pledge manager for Porthaven, please do let us know in the survey. As for if we're gonna do something like this, generally speaking, I don't particularly like splitting the same product into multiple different categories, which just splits sales. It makes it difficult for us to manufacture and store it. So again, we'll consider it, but I wouldn't bet on it entirely. But releasing the old lava caverns room to retail, I thought it was already released to retail, but I'll have to look into that.
Okay. But as always, we have a survey, and that survey, if you follow, we always listen to surveys, so we try to analyze things and so on. Can you show the dragon you are making with Squigma? Actually, we do have assembled even 5 of them downstairs. I don't have here. I don't think if I should. I think let's leave it to Squigma to actually show the dragon and
he's already shown it a couple times.
Oh, you did. Okay, that's great. Okay. Yeah, the hinges on the doors, they snip when they try to put them in. We do have actually designed better solution for those at some point, yeah.
Not sure if next DNL will be a mini or terrain heavy campaign, but after Del's Lair, Caves and now Porthaven, I may be capped out on minis for a while. However, I can always use terrain, mountains, jungles, ruins. Yeah, so most likely, I'm not saying it's confirmed or anything, but most likely the next campaign will feature castle terrain.
Preliminarily looking at the...
Yeah, just looking at the survey. Again, that's still subject to change, but that's the info we currently have right now. So yeah, the next campaign will be more terrain focused.
Yeah. Is the new card game going to have solo mode, akin to other live card games on the market?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, and I think we need to expand it to actually not 1 versus 1, but also added more players, like 2 versus 2. So yeah, give us some time. I mean, we listen to you. We listen to your feedback, and we basically we will adjust the accordingly. So, and thank you for that. I mean, your voice is very important.
Yeah, I mean, as a big fan of Star Realms, I do like cooperative modes, alternate game modes as well. They're all just fun.
Yep, it's gonna be good though. So I've already emailed you guys if I could come by and got restaurant ideas for PY with the return mail. Okay,
that's good to hear. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about
Did you get an email? Or?
I didn't. Someone from customer service must have answered that email.
Okay. So let's follow up tomorrow. Because yeah, as I said, we had some visitors some point ago, and those visitors basically knocked our door like straight off the street. They came from the street and they were just passing by from Germany, by the way. So they were passing by from Germany and they just Google us and say this is the address. I was in the company. I was actually in this building when this building was being constructed. So I came back to the office and they told me, oh look, you know what? We had some visitors and you were not around to show them, so we didn't show them nothing, which was the shame. I say, why you haven't showed them? You should basically take them around, you know. Why I needed to do those things? You know what I'm saying? Oh,
because you're the boss.
So what? I mean, if somebody's traveling even from Germany, is just passing by anyways, you know, it's anyway. So yeah, that's one of the stories from the past. Have you already announced what the next crowdfunding set will be?
The next crowdfunding set, you mean the next crowdfunding campaign we're going to be running? It's going to be Starcide in that case.
Think so, yeah. I think the Starcide will be the next one. I agree on that. What was your reaction when a company blindly copied your style of terrain clips? We're looking into this one with some lawyers, because, you know, I don't think it's right. No, it's not right. And they're from China, so they maybe don't understand the Europe and other countries work differently.
They're already DNL or a knockoff version of DNL already exists in China. I'm not sure if you're aware. You must be aware. I'm pretty sure you saw the page some time ago, like a couple of years ago at this point.
Who is it?
I don't know. It's just some Chinese knockoff company. But regarding this, I'm pretty sure they also copied Snot Goblin's terrain at the same time as well, which they kind of like combined our two terrains together, I think, which is interesting, but also a bit strange. I mean, they generally do say that, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. But in this case, it may be a little...
Imitation or copying? Because that's...
In this case, it's a little bit further than imitation.
Yeah, it's basically copying, so... you're absolutely right. China doesn't have IP laws. They do have. Actually, no, they do have. They needed to do that. They signed it. Actually, that was one of the reasons they did sign the documents a few years back. I think not this administration, maybe even previous administration, or maybe even the one before. Maybe it was during the Obama administration. Not quite sure. One of the USA administrations ask them to actually sign the paper that they're going to be respecting all the IP laws, and otherwise they wouldn't be allowed to large markets, global markets, basically. So they did that. And then during this situation with tariffs, they said, oh, maybe we should just cancel that. So it was like panic mode, everybody, because all of a sudden they might just basically, allow Chinese manufacturers just to copy one-to-one everything, and then say what I'm saying. So it is complicated. If it's copy, it's copy. If they're gonna take this one on a Kickstarter, we might not. We will see. Get in touch with Kickstarter just to let them know that this is basically straight copy of our design, and that's it.
So regarding this question from Vlad. What about actually making the Eclipse system open for everyone? I think we will all be winning from that, no? I generally think supporting fan creations and stuff that's compatible with DNL, I think that's completely fine. But it's a bit of a different story when a company is basically trying to use the system to make their own product, I guess. Yeah. Isn't really... Well, it's not obvious. It's obviously not a fan creation.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a different story. Like a Dragon Clip, it is there. Like everything is there, open for anybody to use, kind of, because it was designed that way to start with. I know the Dragon Clip is being used. They're not called it Dragon Clips, right? The WizKids is calling it differently. It's almost
Dragon Lock. I think WizKids uses the Dragon Lock, but there's also Open Lock, I believe. Open
Lock, yes. So that is, if somebody wants to use Open, they should use the Open Lock, not straight copy us, because this is just like, if you have a large. It's not, we do have a lot of products out there, and the product line is quite large. So doing that when you have such a large product line, it's not, I don't think so. But we're gonna be there. No worries.
Will you open shops, Archon shops like the GW ones?
Maybe in the future, we don't know.
I'm pretty sure Andres also had a question. When will you see miniatures from StarCraft? We do have some to show today, actually.
Yep. I can show you that.
Yeah.
So we work on those things. They've been approved. Some of the miniatures. Where I'm showing on this camera instead of showing on a large and great camera, because it's 3D print, which I don't like, and it doesn't show us the pure quality. And if I show you the pure quality there, you're probably going to say, oh, it's not enough quality, but it's not. It's basically 3D print, which is not the best. So you might know them. You will have plastic visors. I can tell you right now, this one, you're going to get the clear plastic visors for them. So this is something which I'm telling you now, but it's going to be more surprises, many surprises. You might know them. So yeah. So what we're going to do, I'm showing you those minis because, I want to make sure that we, just to show you that we actually work on those things, but the team is working on new renders and to show you everything in a glory. And the renders we're going to go through the approval, and then we're going to be able to show you them. So yeah, stay tuned because there's a more and more content is coming.
So very happy with my Multi Battleground delivery. Now I need to know when the new stuff is coming. To retail, you mean? Or in general, new stuff for Multi Battleground? When do you think the newest stuff or new stuff is coming for Mortal Battleground?
For Mortal Battleground, new stuff is coming towards the end of this year. I think we have to, because we have in the plan to release all the expansions. We already planned it to have it on the GameFound. Once this one is cleared out, we're gonna do more. I mean, there's a lot of content you received, a lot of content. You have received almost 2 years of content there, which should, if you start playing it, should give you some good fun and good, choosing option for the next at least year or so in terms of gameplay. But yeah, new stuff will be coming later. Right, what's next?
Hello, is it 32 millimeters? The Zergling is big. They are actually that big in lore.
Yeah, 1.5 meter tall.
Yeah, they are comparable to a Marine, definitely.
Yeah, not to Marine, but to yeah, almost.
Well, including the
scythe,
the claws. I mean,
yeah, cycling talons or whatever they call them. Yeah. Right. Let's check what else we have. We definitely have something to show. More questions. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's to you.
Can we get a Dachshund animal companion for the castles or whichever other theme the next campaign ends up taking? Yeah. I don't see why not. Maybe. We'll look into it.
Okay. You can do spacebar and answer other question. I'll just prepare.
Any chance to get any one of the core sets from Caves as clear plastic so that when we build a full ice room, we can go with the stretch goal clears? So again, regarding this and alternate versions for existing sets, we generally aren't too keen on this, simply because it just splits the production process. It's more difficult to store, and I don't think there is as much value to be gained there. I think. What I mean is just a lot of work that we have to put in for not that much return. Whereas we could instead be spending that time on making and releasing like other new cool stuff. But yeah.
Sorry, I was moving mouse.
News about pre-painted Caves shipping. So as we mentioned near the beginning of this stream, we're getting closer to finishing shipping unpainted stuff. And we reckon we'll finish near the end of this month, and we'll start shipping pre-painted stuff near the end of this month as well. Can the unpainted full wall mines, lava caves, and ice caves go to retail? Definitely. These the full wall mines, they definitely need to go to retail.
Are they not being planned already? I think they were. I think they were on the list.
I don't think they've been released yet, but definitely it would be good to get those out. As for lava caves and ice caves from DNL 3, we'll have to look into that. I'm not sure why they weren't released actually. Maybe there's like a reason behind that. Maybe the tool got damaged or something.
Okay, World of Tanks.
Yeah,
so
World of Tanks. Oh, we got some more arts.
More arts. Yeah, ignore the name of the tank because it's not Sherman, but basically this is how the card's going to look. I think I'm getting really excited about this project. Really like it when I look. I don't know. I wasn't aware that I'm actually a fan of tanks. I don't know. It's an age thing maybe, and everybody who passed like 40 years old all of a sudden start liking tanks. I don't know, like motorbikes. Some people start liking motorbikes. I just start liking tanks. And but I've seen those arts. It's amazing, though. Amazing. And spoke to the guys yesterday about it and say the game is quite good. So we'll see. We need to do blind tests. I think they're starting also the blind tests, and we'll get the feedback from that one. And well, that's one of the projects which is very advanced now. We already discussed with manufacturers. We have seen manufacturer last week on to start it off, and then later on we will just carry over and manufacture in-house because we still building expansion to our factory. And then when this place is done, then we're gonna be able to put machines and do all the things internally. Post them. Hi, Mike.
Post a cease and desist letter, but fill it with glitter. That is pure evil. I wouldn't expect any less from you, Mike.
Will StarCraft be Prismacast? Maybe
just terrain, right?
Terrain. Yes, maybe the terrain. I know the pain of painting terrain. I do not know that very well, so maybe the terrain will be pre-painted. We'd like to have that one. At least the experience will be open the box. I'll take the flat terrain piece because we have to. It's IP product, so it needs to be full in box game. So we will have some. Let's call it for now a board game, right? Board game, how we call it, the game map, let's say, or the game map you're going to play on, and that's going to be available in the starter box. And then if you got pre-painted terrain, you just basically plug and play. We won't be able to tell you much about the gameplay today. The project just been announced, so if you go on a page, follow the page, because the thing is, the idea for the team have is basically we're going to be feeding you through next few months with the bits and bobs of the rules.
Yeah, we're just going to be doing dev diaries on that. So,
exactly.
You'll be able to read them through. We're probably going to post GameFound updates as well, but generally you can read them on our blog, on our main page.
So this contract for this game, it actually was mandatory to make a collectible card game. It needs to be collectible card game. So the World of Tanks is collectible. It's not live service game. It's not a live living card game. It is collectible. Yes. So World of Tanks. It is basically requested from the licensor.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, most likely they will be blind booster packs in this case, I believe.
Yes. This week I'm getting the shipment track number for Heroes 3. Should I be concerned and ask support if the last... Okay. I mean, I don't know how long does it take. Maybe, next week?
Potentially, yes. Well, I know... So I believe you may have been the packages you were referring to for home. I believe that may have been referring to like maybe some individual packages that we're sending ourselves, which includes stuff like packages to Serbia and Ukraine.
Oh.
But in regards to like the packages that the Green Logistics sends out, which is like I believe the vast majority of packages, they should be about 80 to 90% done. So generally speaking, if you did receive a email confirmation from Green Logistics and it's not sent early next week, then I would recommend reaching out to us.
I like this idea a lot, but I cannot tell you more about it. So stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely. Trenches. We'll get back to you.
Yep. Okay, so maybe quickly, let's have a look on unboxing camera. Yeah, that's Stronghold. I'm having it. Team House was already playing with that Stronghold. What we find in there? The player's aid. Some info, how to play. You know the drill. And then we have a 34 pages of additional, maybe not rules, but some things and missions, and can you see that? Yeah, it's on the camera, right? So, and the scenarios. So that's a lot, right? And then you have those additional bits and bobs which are required for this box.
Yeah, please note that this is the initial sample, so potentially some things may get changed. This isn't like 100% final.
Not sure which revision is that one. It might be just semi-final, but it's not final. That's for sure. It's not final. Yeah. And then we have that small leaflet just to show you the units. So that's, exactly which unit is which. And then we have the tiles, obviously. So the tiles in terms of material are there, but some of the stats on it might not be the final one, depending whether the team already checked this one or not, like I thought about. As you can see, it's not just prints. It's just basically fully done prototype, which... Oh, come on, Jarek. Sorry, me being clumsy, I'm just not gonna do that one the way you would probably expected me to do. Then we have a punch boards with tokens and terrain pieces. Then another punch board and another punch board with tiles and tokens, resources tokens. That's miniatures. So, one second, I just pushed the button and I hope you can see us still. No, wrong button. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Probably haven't seen us just for a few seconds. It was just me being, again, clumsy. Are we back? You see us? Miniatures still in the fog of war.
Yeah, you should good. It's good now.
Okay, perfect. Sorry for that. Yeah. So I was mentioning about the miniatures. They're not final, by the way. They're resin samples. Some of them you can see they like are pre-painted. No, it's our team trying to figure it out and match the colors we want them to use. For how we call it, not sand drop, we call them differently, right?
It's just shading.
Shading, yes. So just to show you quick miniatures, and again, they just resin and in a gray color, and they obviously not gonna be gray, and they're not gonna be resin. So they're very, very fragile minis, but they basically samples before tooling is done. And I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we need to do that in order to. Actually, I can show that way. In order to, what's the name, get approval from licensor. Yeah. Okay. Then you have a town board, more minis, tokens, and a bunch of cards. Actually, we can go through them quickly. That's what we have. Magic Mirror. Oh, Magic Arrow. Everybody loves Magic Arrow, especially the missing one. You got two in there. Come on. Do we fix our mistakes with that? I don't think so. That's unforgivable. Nobody's going to forgive us for not adding one more Magic Arrow into starter box. Anyway, that's for that. Let's get to another box quickly. Right. Shimon, you can answer some questions if you want. When I actually get other box.
Any chance for some new inserts to organize both big boxes with new content? Gonna be a mess, especially with the cards and tiles, splitting it into two boxes after each game. So unfortunately, there's no chance for like a even bigger box, an even bigger big box, if you will. The biggest box, simply because there are just limitations on how big we can make them. The current big box for the first campaign, it's the biggest possible box that we could have made without them being handmade, which would have cost significantly more. So that's why we just simply don't offer bigger boxes.
Exactly, that's the problem with manufacturing, you know. Anyhow, again, tokens. Here we have the cove. I like the map tile. Really, they're very nice. Much, the blue one actually add lots of, lots of character to it. Especially look when you have a land combined with the blue. Absolutely love it. Okay. Visually, that might be one of the best expansions, in my opinion, obviously. Look at that. We're making great things, really great things. Again, player's aid. Same here for the faction info about your creatures. And then you will find another 30-something pages book or booklet or whatever you want to call it, with additional rules, additional explanation things and bits and bobs. And yeah, CMAP tiles, info, and then we move probably to a lot of different scenarios. Finishing off with more player's aid, finishing off with info about the Horn of Abyss. So small tribute to the owners, to the creators, from us and from Ubisoft. Tiny leaflet, you will find out more info in there. And then obviously the same thing. Map tile, beautiful models. Again, I can show you one or two, but they are just samples. So stay tuned for the final ones, obviously in a proper color, the faction color. Lovely cards, spells. Wow, really good though. Cannon. Yes, we have cannons. I don't know how much I can show you because I want to not spoil you too much, and I would rather you to go through it and see all the surprises we have for you in there. Obviously the holo cards. That's the normal version. Upgraded version. Let me get that one back in there quickly. Okay, you can go through the questions, Shaman, if you want.
Yeah.
With the mouse.
I mean, there's not too many right now, I believe.
Don't push that one button which I just pushed.
I may be clumsy, but I'm not that clumsy.
If you get to my age, you're gonna get clumsy. I can tell you right now. It's coming with the age, man. I used to beat you in the StarCraft. I still beat you in the StarCraft. Oh, sorry, I'm not that clumsy then. You lost the game last time.
Yeah.
Actually, you lost 3 games in a row.
I blame my teammate.
You always blame your teammate.
Don't you know that's
so yeah, so by the way, we beat, like, you know, 2 guys, myself and Konstantinos, we both 40-something beat 2 guys in 20s. In StarCraft too.
Yeah, I mean,
3 times in a row.
I don't play ladder though. You used to play ladder like an obsessed lunatic.
I did play, yes. Obsessed lunatic, I play a lot. You did play as well, Lord.
No, I play co-op and arcade games because they're more fun than ladder.
But I'm actually raised on StarCraft 1, and StarCraft 1 was only ladder. There was nothing else. There was no co-op, nothing things like that. So
you still had custom games.
Yeah, but last time we played in office StarCraft 1, they lost the game, like every single one, and they decided not to play anymore with us.
That's not true. You guys just
StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
1. StarCraft 2 was different story. StarCraft 1, yes. The StarCraft 1 is much more difficult to play. Because the number of units you control. Okay, sorry guys, let's go back to the heroes. Again, with this expansion is the same story. I think the booklet is slightly bigger. It is, because that booklet goes to 46 pages, quite a lot of pages. And then what you find in here, locations. For some reason my camera works and I have to flick it over. I don't know what's happened. I need to remember the settings. So loads of things here. Loads of written stuff. You have this story, so you have some fluff in there, and then obviously you have a campaign AI deck sharing. Cool. And then tiles, and you have a mix obviously in this expansion, right? You see that? That's the quality, right? And more tiles. And then behind that we do have tokens, obviously, for portals, and then you will find, again, miniatures, and then you will find cards. And once, you know, those pockets there, they for tokens, right? You know the drill. We designed exactly the same with every single expansion. Once you punch all the bits and bobs from the punch boards, the tiles goes here, tokens goes there, as well as 2 pockets here. So, yep. This is what you have it. We're very advanced in this expansion. So now we're just waiting for the final touches, final approvals, and then for the manufacturing schedule, which I'm expecting to get soon. Right, let's see. Let's go through slides. And then we can go back to questions. So Starcide quickly. For the Starcide, we are working on the Outreamers faction. So there's a case study, we're looking at models, so we're looking at things, and the designer is proposing this solution. I really like it. I think it's going to look very good in the miniatures form, because they are miniatures. You know what I'm saying? The design actually speaks miniatures. So this type of style, which fits perfectly for the factions and for the idea of the factions, of them being kind of minors and being out on the outskirts of the human factions boundaries. And comic book, by the way, another slide from the comic book. We work on a comic book. You probably haven't seen the previous one. This is one of the other ones, because we work on a comic book, and the comic book will be part of the video, which we are currently working on. What?
I'm sorry, I just realized a or a typo there, I believe. Again, this comment, I don't think it's gone through any proofreading yet.
No, not yet. It's just basically, idea for the slides, but there's no text, there's nothing on it yet. Except that text here, which is misspelled, huh? That's what I mean. Yeah, but the comic books will be there available for you guys. When the campaign starts, you'll be able to download it as a PDF content. But you're also going to use that one for the animations for the video itself. So we have a big plans for this IP. We're going to be basically expanding it and keeping going. And as a nice reminder, if you go to crowdfunding now, if you go to the GameFound, you will find it on GameFound under Starcide. When the project starts, you're going to get those things additional. So we got crowdfunding bonus and returning back your gift. I think already 4,000 people signed up for it. 5,000. We will see how it goes. We still have plenty of time. We haven't shown nothing, really. Absolutely nothing. We haven't shown how the gameplay, and that's something. Really, the gameplay is something. In my personal opinion, because I'm the creator, one of them, it's something. It's really something. Let's check maybe quickly questions.
Every time I'm in a stream, I'm jealous of your job. Thanks, Mike.
The grass is not greener, I would say. So some questions. If the pledge manager was closed after 14th, when could one expect the pledge?
So I'm not sure if you're referring to heroes or caves. For caves, the pledge manager is technically closed, but we still have left it open, just so there's less people, late on their pledge. But for heroes, any new pledges made right now, they will be sent in an undetermined wave, or at an undetermined date, in a future wave. So after we ship the current wave, which is scheduled for September, I believe. After we ship that, there's going to be another shipping wave sometime in the future, and that's going to contain all the orders that are going to be shipped past that deadline date.
Cool.
Did you get good and usable ideas from the Porthaven survey? Yeah, definitely, for sure. There's lots of good stuff there. We still need to do a more deeper dive into all the suggestions. We usually do that after we close the survey.
Yeah, we always do. I want to see these results, and then those results going to shape what exactly we're going to do with the next campaign. So Porthaven, obviously development continues. I don't think much left to sculpt, except the big things, because that's for the small things we almost finish in now.
The big things and it's mainly the stretch goals right now.
Yeah, so we have the super stretch goals. I mean,
that's a nice.
That is nice one. Yeah. That is even better. I absolutely love it. Mm-hmm. I think this is kind of the idea I had in my mind when we decided to change our kind of sculpting way and the design to move into that one. It's amazing. And to paint it, that one, it's gonna be crazy though. I like it. Ooh. And the captain is also quite good. Then we have that. Not sure what's that.
That's a flimp, I believe.
Right.
The one on the right, that's a Naga.
Our version of Naga.
Yeah.
With wings. Looks like it, but it's not. Yeah, I know it's not. And then we have the more companions.
Yeah, Terrier, Fairy Dragon, I believe.
That's correct.
Got the Birds of Porthaven, of course.
We're gonna have to keep using that design for like a Dark Dragon will be like based on that design. Yeah. Anyhow.
I think the community was like pretty vocal about keeping the original Dark Dragon design, I believe.
Right.
Seems like the camera.
Oh, it's back. It's back. No, I had it on the black screen. The last screen is a black screen, so that one.
No. The camera changed. See.
Yeah, something goes. You have to shift it. What's going on? I don't know. Some technical issues we're having, guys. So anyway, let's go through some questions, and then we're going to be wrapping up for today. That's a good question. Maybe something in the future. I don't know. Not saying no, not saying yes at this stage. But yeah, stay tuned. Can't wait for the count.
Count Duckula. Oh my god.
You know this is it's not gonna stop, right?
That idea is actually a verifiable cognito hazard at this point. It's just gonna spread everywhere now.
Yeah. So the most of the production will be in Europe, yes. For miniatures games, a big step for us is we taking like, I was saying this one before, we taking in several different milestones. Milestone number one, we need to learn and put full manufacturing in the boxes here internally, and cards internally. Everything which is combined with board and cards needs to be done here in a factory. And then next milestone will be doing anything which is punch boards and plastics. Yeah.
But is that just for the US version? Or?
For everything. Almost everything.
Okay.
I mean, still we have to still be supplied from third-party companies, and most of the companies will be in Europe. Only one component in China which we have to buy at this stage, and it might stay for a little bit longer, is plastic miniatures, assembled miniatures, so those PVC miniatures. The reasons, PVC is material we cannot work with in Europe because of the softeners you have to add to that material to be actually a miniature are not allowed in Europe, so we have to supply them from like a physical product from China at this stage. We're thinking about different solutions, different miniatures, maybe making them in a hard plastic, like our plastic, like we did for Wolfenstein, but then we need to go and see the costs. And if we're gonna do that, we're probably not gonna be able to add that many miniatures. So every single project made in Poland in terms of miniatures might be, if it's done 100% in Poland, in Europe, could be potentially 50% of miniature content.
I think he was referring to heroes. That's why I was asking. But
yeah.
But if it's for Starcide, then yeah, most of it's going to be in
Starcide everything. The StarCraft everything. Invoker everything. Starcide everything, which I just mentioned. So all those things gonna be fully made in Europe. Yeah, and there's many reasons. And the big one for me is always the same. I cannot invest into product which is on a boat for at least of manufacturing any boat for at least 8 months to 9 months. That's nonsense, right? So, and I can make it here much quicker, much faster, and ship it out and keep rotating the warehouse. And at this stage, yeah, I mean, you guys know how the business works. You know exactly what's going on in the not tabletop, but the board gaming industry at this stage, and you see that fallout, and fallout is huge one of the companies, right? Every single week we hear something about this company doing this company doing that company selling IPs, this company trying to figure it out how to actually make business on the board games, and there's not much. There's really profit is very low. It's very little. And then when you grow the company, especially on the board games with little bit profit, especially if you have like IP board games, when you still have to give a big chunk away. In some cases, you give a bigger chunk away of your board game to the licensor than you actually make money on. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Something doesn't add up in that business. And if somebody is just 100% solo focused just on the board games, at some point they're gonna struggle, as they do now. And the Mythic, I just heard about the Lucky Duck games in Poland, which just shut down in Poland apparently, and they move all the stock from Poland to other countries. and they're shrinking. Basically, it's not Lucky Duck; it's actually now Goliath, because Lucky Duck was in a very, very big financial trouble, and they sold the business to Goliath, and Goliath is do what corporation is doing basically.
So that information was publicly available, but
was it?
I don't think so, but maybe that's just me. I don't know
about the Goliath.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just
on the Goliath was because they did announce that. The Lucky Duck Games announced the Goliath taking over. That was last year. But before that, when you go and check the financial results for the Lucky Duck Games, you've seen them being losing almost 10 million zloty, so like $2 or $3 million, losing almost $3 million across 2 years. So you won't be, sustaining your business if you're losing money, right? Not at that level. So the Goliath step in, got the company out, bail out the company, and basically now they shrink in order to actually keep it running. So, but that's what the corporations do. A big one like Goliath. So that's the problem.
I prefer games with less minis, but better quality ones. PVC minis are often a pain to paint.
Yeah, I mean, the Wolfenstein game, which I have on there on the bottom, this game has got the best miniatures you will find on the board game. Well, comparable one-to-one to Games Workshop miniatures, really. And there's plenty of them. So maybe when we design that game, we should not do that many miniatures, do less miniatures for people to actually,
Oh yeah, because with Wolfenstein, it's 8 hours of assembly, I think.
True. However, the way we did that with that board game, we say, okay, this is scenarios, and for the scenario number 1, you have to assemble 5 minis. For scenario number 2, you have to assemble additional 2 or 3 minis. So it wasn't like you have to assemble everything to play the game. We take you to the step of assembling and playing another scenario, and so on. So eventually, when you play like 8 or 9 scenarios, you have everything assembled. So that was the kind of the idea for the Wolfenstein, when it comes to the board games in the future, when we do them, they're gonna be fully assembled miniatures, right? But I would like to do that amazing thing and make those miniatures here in Poland PVC, not PVC, but equivalent to assembled miniatures and so on. So currently working on that process. Yeah, for board games, better lower number, but quality and reason. See, I read an article the other day about Simon, and that was from the Business Insider, about the Call Me or Not, what they did to the industry, like how they created the industry, and that's completely correct. What they did, they created industry in terms of crowdfunding because they were the first company which was offering such a big deals with hundreds of miniatures in the boxes, right? Before that, there was no board games with 100 miniatures in the boxes, and the whole success of them being that. But that business plan was basically dedicated to make product for business to B2C, business to customers. So I'm selling you the full retail price, because then when it comes to retail, I'm not making enough profit, because the manufacturing of such a big boxes with 100 miniatures, it's so big that it's difficult to actually make profit out of it.
Thoughts about KDM? Big game with few minis.
Kingdom Death Monster.
Yeah.
That was a strange success. That was the things when I think the aesthetics of this game, I think what this game offered in terms of quality of miniatures, it was like people didn't care they need to assemble models because they own sprues, right? They didn't care. Okay, fine, I would just get it. I will assemble models because they're so beautiful, so great. I want them on my table. I want them on my bookshelf, whatever. So yeah, this is a great case to show that yes, if you do something which is that good, people don't care. They will.
Honestly though, I was this close to buying a KDM last GameCon, big KDM box. But unfortunately, I don't think it would have fit in my luggage.
Yeah, but why? Why would you do that? What was the thing was forcing you to actually, not forcing, but what was that attractive?
The concept of the gameplay, honestly, sounds very appealing to me.
Yeah.
But also the miniatures, definitely the miniatures.
I think
the design specifically of the miniatures.
Yeah, and look, people don't care they need to assemble. There's thousands of people actually who got that game. They never assemble any mini, but still got the game. Yeah, in their life. So that's a big one.
Any update on the Caves physical book? Asking, as Simon stated, that it might be shipped separately, and wondering if that's still the plan. Yeah, we want to get the plastic out as soon as possible. We're not gonna we're just gonna pay the costs of extra shipping for sending 2 separate shipments.
Yep.
So
yeah, book for us is also a problem, always a problem. We're learning, we try and do better with the books, but as Shimon mentioned, the pledges will be shipped without, and then the book will follow up. I know today what Jakub told me, the book is on the finishing, but that means it needs to go through the graphical team. That's going to take at least 1 week for them to assemble, or maybe 2 weeks, and then we have to print it. So I'm guessing halfway through we will be shipping with the book, but the first pledges we ship out will be without the book. We cannot stop shipping, by the way. We have to get them out.
yeah, paying you to have to assemble Wolfenstein was the deal of a lifetime.
Yeah, one way. That wasn't deal of our. Yeah, we decided to do it. We did that. Actually, not looking. I mean, okay, let's be honest with that. We had a lot of people in the company there because it was just beginning of war in Ukraine. And we have lots of ladies who came from Ukraine. They were running out from war. And the town here in Piła, they had like emergency jobs for them. And they said, if you want them, if you have some jobs, please just employ them, because obviously they run with nothing. So we got them in the business. We have like 6 or 7 ladies from Ukraine, and they were just assembling models. And for us, it was great because for them as well, because they had a job, and that was actually a good deal. So we help people. Not only we help people, in the same time we got product for people.
So it was a blessing in disguise.
It was actually, there's many things. When we do things, it's many things.
It really did take a long time to assemble all that stuff. But
Yeah. It was actually, I think we were late like 3 or 4 months to ship everything out assembled. Yeah, but it was eventually done, and I was there. Okay, I think we're gonna be finishing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming by for today's live stream.
This is the good question. The good question about it.
Can we get some updated photos on the pre-painted sets and the expansions? Yeah,
I'm away, but my expectations are, and you can pass this one to my team, that my expectations are that once we finish, just get them to actually start the pre-painted stuff and show people on the on a page, on a Port Heaven page, not Port Heaven Cave page. Okay. Yeah, because we have loads laying around, but people don't have at the moment time because a small team and they have other things on the top on their agenda. But we will do that. We'll get that into it. Okay, thank you for watching us, and I will see you in a couple of weeks time. Yeah. Thursday, next time Thursday. Right, take care. Bye bye.